established that, no? I'm saying we've already established that in Sleets, okay? We are ready to go here. Embracing a sustainable economy, linking smart markets. That was the 2023 theme of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, the 22nd edition of it. This trade fair theme is derived from the African Continental Free Trade Area, which presents a unique opportunity for African countries to embrace an interlinked economy for its people. A very good evening and welcome to this special program as we reflect on the 2023 edition of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, right here from the NBC Oshakati studios. My name is Ndishisha Mfungu and I'll be your stand-in presenter for today. Now, the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair has over the years developed into a leading national and international trade and exhibition event on the Namibian business calendar and continues to draw interest from all sectors of our economy. To help us look at the strides that were made over the past 22 years and also to reflect on this year's OATF event, we're joined by a very esteemed panel of experts and, of course, people who are intrinsic to the success of this Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair. Firstly, on my immediate left is Jackson Muma, who is a member of the organizing committee of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, as well as the Public Relations Officer, the Manager for Corporate Communications at the Ongwediva Town Council. Jackson Muma, very good evening. Thank you for being here.
Yes, good evening, Ndishisha. Thank you for having me.
Next to Jackson Muma, we have, that is Councillor Tara Shalyefu, who holds the title of the Mayor of Ongwediva Town. A very good evening to you, Mayor. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, good evening, Ndishisha. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I hope you're good too.
Yes.
And on my far left, we have Miss Ndasilo Henda Katangolo Nakashwa, who was recently crowned as the 2023 Capricorn Foundation Food Waste Champion overall winner, and she's also a lecturer with the Department of Public Health at the Oshakati campus. Good evening and welcome to this special program. Good to have you here.
Good evening, Ndishisha, and thank you for having me.
I think it's only fair that I start with the mayor as the head of Ongwediva town before we get kicked out of your town. Your worship, looking at the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair and how important this platform has become over the 2 decades of its existence, how crucial would you say has this platform become for the development of the town and for the overall well-being of the people of the Oshana region? Yeah?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mfungu, for having me here and my colleagues to at least look at how to reflect on the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair. To start with, I must be honest with you that Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair has become a popular event in the northern part of Namibia, but also in the country, because it is actually an opportunity where people come together for networking and also for exhibitors and to promote their businesses, to indicate to the public what services they are providing, and also to increase or promote business. Mind you, when we this time around, when we have Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, it's not only benefiting the exhibitors that are coming in the trade fair center, but it's also helping the other people out, be it the street vendors, the resident of Ongwediva town, and also the resident of Oshana region in totality, because it's actually helping many people, because people are flocking from all 13 regions. And this time around, like we always say, tell you, we have got international exhibitors, which is a very good thing. So it's actually an achievement to us.
Very much indeed. Jackson, I've always been, intrigued to know what was the secret ingredient behind the success of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair. Exhibitions, trade shows are nothing new to even Namibia. They've been happening for, even prior to independence and after independence. Yet somehow the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair seems to have, this edge over many of the exhibitions, many of the trade shows that we have in the country. What do you think is the reason for that? And yeah, for the success, yes.
Yeah, the trade fair itself is an economic arm of Ongwediva Town Council.
Yeah.
It's one event that was established with a mere reason to promote trade, exhibition, and business networking. Yeah. All other activities that you see in the trade fair are actually complementary, and as such, the the vision for the town, which is now giving strategic direction to whatever is happening, is that the town need to promote local economic development, and as such, the council kept focus to the event, so much so that it have entrusted the preparatory committee to ensure that at least an event is created and the event is being run in such fashion that it brings all active economic sectors in the country together. And in addition to that, we also have international exhibitors, so that there is an exchange of ideas taking place, as well as dialogues towards promotion of trade. But what is very important to note here is that the focus of the trade fair never derailed by whatever condition, be it climate, be it health-wise, or it has always been the focus of the trade fair that we need to promote trade, exhibition, and networking.
Absolutely. And you've gone a step further, but we'll get into those details shortly. Dasilo Henda, firstly, what do you make of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair in its entirety?
It was such a good experience, having been there as a visitor, although this time I am not an exhibitor. I really try by all means to visit all the sections. One of the one I can remember was a Wednesday session where they have a live training on farmers, and it was quite interesting because I learned that name tag, for example, name tag and the meat co, they are trying to register to do away with the old way of registering and branding animals. Then one of the quite interesting things I could recall in that training as well was the common diseases of common animal diseases we have in the north, and the reason why our meat cannot move from here to the other side of the red line. But seeing again the popular tent of our tradition cuisine, I think I came with a basket full from our traditional delicacies, and going as far as Omawungu, Utuchi, or Shima. It's so exciting. And the kids,
Yeah.
I went to the section of the kids, and it's one of those activity where you say, yes, Ongwediva Trade Fair really come back after the COVID-19 layoff. It was quite interesting to me, and those are some of the highlights. Although there are a lot, I could pick up, and it still remain with me as a best experience.
Very much. I mean, you're just taking me back, to all of the delicacies that I enjoyed there as well. Mayor, when we look at, the types of opportunities, hearing Dasilo Henda speak about the food, the exposure to, even the agriculture sector, the cultural element to it, etc. When we talk about, how multifaceted the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair is, what are your thoughts around that? It really speaks to almost everybody and almost every sector of our economy.
Yes, Ndishishi, I must indicate here that Ongwediva has grown bigger and bigger. And, everybody is just talking about it. Last night I was actually reading some of the comments, and there was this funny comment coming from somebody saying, Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair should probably be rotating, This year is in Ongwediva town, the other in Opuo, the other time in Swakopmund.
Somebody asked, but Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair.
Yeah. So, to be honest, this is an opportunity where a lot of companies, exhibitors, professionals are getting an opportunity to come and indicate to the public of what they are doing in the society. And I always say this is an opportunity that one could not afford to miss, because services information is actually brought nearer. And instead of driving all the way from Okongo, all the way from Opuo, Rwakana, Muthia, to go say to Otapi now to get that service. Here is Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, where information is just brought to you free of charge. The only thing you need to do is just to pay the entrance, and when you are inside there, you are free to access the information, to see what is happening, and also to learn from one another, because like it was said here, we are actually learning a lot through this event, because we are not only talking about exhibiting, but there are also conferences, meetings that are going on inside there. You come to Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair, I'm telling you, you will not go back the same way you came in.
Hearing you talk, about that comment on Facebook, one would perhaps, ask and think, is there some type of collaboration at that local authority level? I know that, the OATF, the Ongwediva Town Council, is, of course, in partnership and collaboration with other municipalities, etc. But when we look at the trade fair and, sharing that knowledge, that expertise, is there potential in that we could, collaborate perhaps with other towns, with other trade fairs and exhibition platforms here?
Yes, the opportunity is there. And as I'm speaking to you here now, we have got a tuning agreement with various towns in the country, and of which some of them, they are already learning from us, and we are also learning some best practice from them, because, something which is happening here might not be necessarily happening in Nokakarara. Exactly. So I must indicate here that the opportunity is there for us to learn from each other. So I'm just actually emphasizing that well, people should do hands with us. We are ready. We are looking forward to work with them, and they also learn from them, but as much as they are learning from us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Jackson, this time around, we saw around 450 exhibitors of those 14 international participants from across the globe. We saw a number of engagements. We saw the signing of very important agreements, such as the service level agreement between NORAD and the Ministry of Mines and Energy through the Solar Revolving Fund. We saw dialogues, business forums, etc. happening. When you think of this past week and a half, how would you sum it up? And how successful would you say was the 2023 edition of the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair?
It was actually a week where we have seen the Ongwediva Annual Trade Fair evolving into an event where business to business marketing happens, business to customers and customer to customer type of approach happening. For the fact that we had also some other important events like my mayor have alluded to. One of the highlights I will just mention is the one for the 28th, which was the engagement with the business community, and that was organized as a collaboration between the Ongwediva Trade Fair Society and the Namibia Trade Forum to provide information to business community so that they understand the concept of African Continental Free Trade Area and their stake in it and how they should actually roll out their products and services as well as expanding their businesses. And also it was a week where we have various business people learning to innovate because during the trade fair we met innovators, we met consumers and other business players. So all in all, this event has brought in confidence to more of business community, state-owned enterprises, as well as
we walk so slowly through the cave in. I held your hand and so it was we wandered aimlessly. Oh, bushbound down in cave. What if we could get away? I leave my troubles until I return. I leave my troubles until I return. 'Cause you are, you are, you are. I love to hear you say, oh baby, won't you stay forever and always? I love it when you call me. It's Friday and I'm lonely. Oh, won't you be my only? Come back to you. You made me mad, I never put my hands on you. You made me cry, but what else does a lover do? I crossed the line, what else do I expect from
1996 established the Solar Revolving Fund. So this fund previously was administered by private companies, and only in 2010 the ministry took over the administration of the Solar Revolving Fund. And the primary objective of the Solar Revolving Fund is to promote and increase rural electrification through the use of renewable energy. And then in 2007, the government came up with a master plan called the Off-Grid Energization Master Plan of 2007, which has two elements. One element is the Solar Revolving Fund, and the other element is electrification of public institutions with renewable energy. And the renewable energy technologies that we are talking about here is the solar home systems. The systems are used to supply electricity in a household environment. We have photovoltaic pumps. These ones are used for pumping water. We have solar water heaters, or in other words, we call them solar geysers for heating water. And we have our new baby, the grid connections that we just recently launched on Tuesday at the Ongwediva Trade Fair. Then I'll move on to the Green People's Energy Project. This project is a joint venture between the Federal Republic of Germany through an organization called GIZ and the government of the Republic of Namibia through the Ministry of Mines and Energy. The aim of this project is to contribute to the universal and sustainable energy access for people living in Namibia. It also aims at strengthening the renewable energy sector with a focus on promoting renewable energy for off-grid electrification. Now, the GIZ provided financing of 330,000 euros, which when it was converted, it was about 5 million to SRF. And the GBE project was launched on the 5th of April last year. I move on to the grid connections, the ones that we just recently launched. The Ministry of Mines and Energy through the Solar Revolving Fund established strategic alliances with regional electricity distributors, also known as the REDs, for grid connection financing mechanism. So on Tuesday, the 29th of August, MME through the Solar Revolving Fund and NORAD launched a service level agreement for grid connection financing and installations. This is the first agreement that we managed to launch. The aim of this agreement is to promote rural electrification by providing financing to households and businesses living in rural and peri-urban areas. Now, under this NORAD and MME agreement, the SRF will be responsible for providing the finances, while NORAD will be responsible for the installations and technical support. I'll then move on to the solar packages that we finance through the Solar Revolving Fund and the Green People's Energy Project. So package number 1 and package number 3 and package number 4, those packages are financed under the project, while package number 2 and package number 5 are financed under the Solar Revolving Fund. Package number 1 is meant for people that with low income, an income of from $1,000 to $7,000, and the maximum loan amount that we can give under this package is $21,000. Package number 2 is meant for people that earn an income of above $7,000, and the maximum loan amount that we can give under this package is $60,000. Package number 3 is meant for businesses with an income of more than $7,000. The amount that we can give under this package is $95,000. Package number 4 is meant for photovoltaic pumps. Normally, these systems are used by farmers to provide, to pump water for their livestock or irrigations, and the maximum that the fund can give under this package is $60,000. And then the final package is solar water heaters, or in other words, we call them solar water geysers, and the maximum funding